This is Rural Roots Canada, and I'm Craig Lester, getting to the STEM and meat of agriculture with the Alberta Farm Animal Care's Livestock Care Conference 2019 in Olds, and I have Dr. Rebecca Husted here with me. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you?
Nice to see you. Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you're speaking about today.
We were talking about technical large animal emergency rescue, and there's many aspects of that that are applicable to the folks that are at this livestock conference. Everything from how do we deal with a overturned cattle trailer to how do I get my personal horse out of a mud hole if he falls into it, or perhaps he's in a trailer wreck. So we talked a lot about, in this particular weekend, we talked about how you coordinate with your emergency responders as far as who do I call, 911, what about my veterinarian? I'm going to need a veterinarian on the scene. And then who else do I need? Do I need cattle panels to corral animals? Do I need some specialty tool? Do I need to call the fire department because it's in the middle of the night on the side of the road and they need to provide safety? Do I need lighting? So those are some of the things that we talked about in this presentation.
Now, this is obviously an issue is growing sort of thing, and awareness is starting to grow on this. What kind of, how much planning are people doing for these types of situations?
So one of the things we talk about a lot is having a personal plan as well as a business plan. Most of the folks that are at this conference also have a business. Either it may be a beef cattle operation, it may be a feedlot, it may be a boarding facility for horses. But the business resumption after a disaster in the past has been horrific. People aren't prepared. So we're trying to get that information out to mitigate and plan and prepare, but also on the personal level of your cat, your dog, your personal animals, your horses. How do you make sure that you're not in the area of the flood that's coming? You guys know about the Calgary floods a few years ago. That made the international news because it, of course, affected things like the zoo, but it also affected producers. It affected people with private animals. And we don't like to see people walking through very cold water leading a horse that could have been let out 3 days ago if you had just been looking at the flood maps and knew that it was coming.
How much more response time, how much have you seen that response time kind of close down, shorten, I guess is the best way to put it, over the years? Do you see it getting better? I
see it getting better. See it getting better. With social media and people realizing from pictures and videos, oh my goodness, this could happen to me, and they start realizing, what is my plan? That's been helping a lot. Actually, social media it's a force for good in this particular case.
So if someone asks themselves, what is my plan? And they realize they don't have a plan, where do they start?
AFAC is actually a very good place to start. They have the 1-800 number to call, and they're fantastic because they know everybody that's in this province as far as any kind of livestock. For example, if you have bees, and how are you going to move bees with a flood coming? You're going to have to reach out to get some help. Or perhaps you do have the resources, but your neighbor does not. If they've got 3 to 5 hives, most people don't have a bee transport trailer if you've only got a small number of hives. But the loss of those bees can really affect our province's ability to get the pollination done of that food. So we try to save them, and plus there's so many problems with bees anyway. So that's just one good example, and people, they say, large animal rescue, that doesn't include bees. I promise you it does. They're considered livestock.
The questions you've received, and the interaction you've received at this conference, just your thoughts on that?
Fantastic. It's really neat to see all the students here. I think there's like 50 students here learning from the producers. This is their chance to have that interaction face-to-face with the people who are the movers and shakers in the livestock industry. And I'm not really aware of any other place where you can get a day and a half of actual face-to-face, shaking hands, asking questions, panel discussions. I'm not aware of anywhere else in the province, and actually even in Canada, where you can do that. So fantastic opportunity for the students.
Dr. Husted, anything you would like to add that I haven't asked you?
Make sure you have a plan for yourself, a plan for your pets, and a plan for your livestock, and I'll be out of a job.
Thank you, Rebecca, so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We've been speaking with Dr. Rebecca Husted here at the Alberta Farm Animal Care Livestock Care Conference for 2019 in Olds. For Rural Roots Canada, I'm Craig Lester, getting the STEM and meat of agriculture.